Good morning, good morning. Today we're taking a look at XRP and the Sigma coin. So, all right, checking in here on the Sunday, we've got yesterday's big flush that occurred. So our green dot went off at $1.73. If you exited the positioning and respected the dot, then you're actually now up on your potential entry for when XRP returns to being green, right? So we're watching this kind of play out and just in this particular price action. And we're going to go and kind of have some discussion on what we expect price action to look like. So first thing to note here, we're going to jump over to this guy. So first thing to note here is on the larger time frame for the Wyckoff accumulation that we're going through right now. The question is, are we sitting right here at this spot and then we're going to go up and then back down again? Or are we already done with this capitulating low, right? So you can see that we have the sign of weakness right here. We have the initial sign of weakness again, mid-range, maybe even right here, right, in this zone. And then we come down and we do this falling wedge triangle, right? So we got this, falling, we just have this trend of falling price action, right? So what we're going to be looking for is a breakout and a back test of this region right over here. So two pathways that we could do this. So we have this area of confluence down here that we're tapping into, right? So you can see we actually hit it right here. And this takes us over to the left-hand side. And we also have this area right here of price action that's also playing down here, okay? So the goal, ultimately, is that we're going to determine if this is enough, right? So realistically, as far as a potential couple directions that we could go here on our pathways, is we have two universes, right? And so we need to ultimately figure out which universe we're in. And then from there, we try to do what we can, right? So what we've done is right now on our larger 4-hour indicator, we're not that one. We are in cash, right? We're getting these wicks to the downside. We're going to be looking at whether or not we need to go lower. So an expectation would be that there's this line right here, and we are going to move back up to this line is my guess. We're going to click there, click here, go over here. And then we would reject and fall back down into this area, right? So this could get us into that 140 region. So this is one of our universes, something along these lines, right? So we can have a back test breakout, rejection on that line underneath the side of this, taking back the majority of the liquidity, and then a further breakdown into the wedge, giving us that lower low on the channel that we're in. And then we can start working our way out of the price action, okay? So that's what we're checking on right now as one thought. Alternatively, we can also go a different direction where this is in fact now the bottom, right? So we would actually work our way back up into and break above this region, showing that something has changed. And then we would work on our back test of the wedge like that. Then we can get out of here, right? So that's the very different universes that we have. And I know it's not fair to be like, hey, we don't know which way we're going, but the point is right now you should be technically in cash waiting and watching, and we're going to find out if we're dealing with this universe with an opportunity to grab more, or if we're in this universe where we actually just it's going to turn green, we're going to be late, but we're going to grab it, and then hopefully will turn red and allow us to re-enter lower. So that's kind of the expectations of the two universes that we could potentially be in, all pivoting around this point of line of $1.82. So that's really our big question mark. We sweep lower, we bounce up to $1.82, which is good, or we blast through $1.82, which is good. So the plan being is if you do get another sweep of the lows and we see something like that, then that would mean that you can start getting initial like nibbles on the price action, and then we can then jump to cash. But we'll get more into some of the shorter term trades that we can add to this. So, all right, so that's basically the structure of what we're looking at between these two things. And liquidity wise, there hasn't been a lot of longs loaded up yet. So there's some leverage down here. So I could see us revisiting at the worst case $1.56, and they just don't go for these guys yet. So the question is, will the $1.56 region be the correct answer? Finally, jumping over to Sigma, we've been experiencing the same market phenomenon as everything else. So we have the capitulation that's occurring to the entire space. And the question now is, will this capitulation ultimately kind of work its way out? But you could just see positioning selling that's just occurring the whole way down, right? So this may be the beginnings of a trend reversal change. So we'll be monitoring this, and hopefully we can start working on getting a higher price for Sigma here pretty soon. But 160 million Sigma gets you access to the indicator, and we are adding more of the sniper trades to this indicator. That it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm actually excited to bring that forward. So I'll let you know when I have that ready. So this is kind of the two universes we're living in. Right now you should be in cash and watching and waiting to see what we can do. It may sweep back up above your potential initial cash entry. You can FOMO or chase if you like, or we just kind of wait and watch what the price action does. Because as we know, XRP can go very fast, very fast, very fast on these wicks down. So caution and watching price action is probably the best way to approach this right now. So we have that. And then finally, just for those, we have our 3-day indicator. I've got a lot of lines here on this chart, but I've been working through what would happen is if we utilize stop losses in our trades and adapt just that one component additional to all of this price action here that we've been going through. And here's the results thus far. And we're going to add the sniper component to it as well. And we are sitting at a 284% profitability from the beginning of this chart, which is kind of just taking us through this region right here and up and over. So that's pretty cool, considering the fact that with all of this price action, there's just a few little wrong footings. So we're going to be working on getting that squared away. So for example, you didn't get enough of this run right here, and you didn't take advantage of these wicks that came down on the underside. So we're going to be adding that component to it. But long story short, this is preservation of capital. You'd be up 284% with the 3-day indicator running move so far. So, all right, so we'll continue to watch and just kind of see what we're getting as far as overall strategies. And so we're going to fine tune this a little bit more. And then we're just waiting. And for, again, 160 million Sigma gets you access to all this through the Discord with notifications. And liquidity shows that there's a potential that we can continue lower. But we're going to be ultimately looking to see if we can get through these two different universes of where we could either sweep up to this area, reject, or break through and backtest. So, all right, guys, we will check in tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.